2 foot, you barreled him and he's 2 foot, or you're fucking like this.
Pretty much, but this little TP came through at the end, just like scratched in, backdoored it, and just like the tunnel of love. And
mate, I don't understand anything. So don't look at me when you're talking about tunnel of love and stuff like that.
After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. After I get it, I reinvest. Stack and put it back in it.
So what I'd love to do is, we'll need to go away and brainstorm, but essentially have a primer video that will run, which will summarize or really condense or create the interest in the program. That'll probably be no more than sort of 20 to 30 seconds. Yeah. And then we'll map out a customer journey where we'll probably get one more video, maybe to the tune of a minute and a half, 2 minutes, where you're really speaking to the pain points of this potential customer. So things that you mentioned around them getting daily support and that consultation and being a better version of themselves and realising that sort of fitness, that will really resonate with them on a personal level. We can try and convert them from a lead into a prospect.
Some businesses come into it with expectations where they expect the agency to come up with the idea, to execute the idea, to do everything. And not a lot of agencies have the ability or the skill to be able to do that. We can perform very, very, very high level strategy attached with very, very, very powerful technical ability, but we still don't say to the business, yeah, we can blow your business up, we're gonna make you super famous and we're gonna make you tons of money. So if you're looking for an agency and you're expecting them to come up with everything and come up with all the great ideas and you're not having any input, then you're certainly hoping and you're barking up the wrong tree. Now, in saying that, you need to be aware when you're actually investigating an agency of what your expectations are and just get super clear on that. You know, I had a conversation yesterday with a new CMG client that's coming on board, and you know, one of the things that gravitated this person to us was the ability that we have to be able to create content, the ability to be able to come up with ideas and be able to say, hey, we want you to shoot a video and we want you to say something along the lines of this. Because that's where the value is, that's where the strategy really comes to play, because you could create a good video, you could have a nice looking website, but if it's not set up to sell, then you're up shit creek.
Well, if you just do a bit of a brain dump in an email and just throw everything, including the kitchen sink, that you believe we can utilise, and then we'll work out how we actually frame that into first step, second step, third step offer. We'll just map out with our team what that video strategy should be, and there'll just be a couple of videos we'll need you to do just with an iPhone where we really, and we'll document this for you, but where we really want to focus on those, you know, glaringly obvious emotional pain points and what those problems are, and then effectively how we can speak to those and solve those for that prospect.
You've got to find the combination of how much emotion do you need to put into it. You hear the old saying, people buy on emotion, justify on logic. You know, it's like, oh, I just went and bought this car because I feel like I deserve it. You know, I've worked so hard for it, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. It, you know, makes me feel good. And then you're trying to really justify why you've bought it, and you're like, well, I did do this and I did buy it, you know, make this much, or I did do that. Like, you justify something. If you look at the majority of things that people purchase, is they're purchasing based off an emotion. Everything's based off emotion. Everything's based off emotion. That's why, you know, there's fear-based selling. It's like closing down, you got 24 hours, people are like, I've got to get in, I don't want to miss out. There's the fear of loss, there's the actual benefit of gain. You know, like you see people with their Lamborghinis and Ferraris and go, yeah, you know, check this out, join my course. People are buying into the I want that type of life. You know, I'm almost convinced that Kylie Jenner sells her makeup because girls just want to be like Kylie Jenner. They just want that life of Kylie Jenner, and they think, if I could put this lipstick on, I'm going to get one step closer. Just look at your own buying habits. You know, look at something you've purchased recently and go, why are you actually buying it? What's the reason behind buying it?
Regardless of what offer we use or how we boot them through the door, unless you know the problem of the consumer and how we're solving it, we can't put a product or an offer in front of them that's going to speak to them as effectively as if we didn't know that. So this here is potential power for us. I want you to be disciplined enough to know that the people we are speaking to are flesh and blood, and they have problems. And yes, we're not going to coach them into transforming their life, but all we're trying to do here is get a relatively qualified lead or turn them into a prospect. That's all we've got to do. All I want to know is, this is a product we have, what problem is it solving, And how does it solve it? That's it. Because we may find that within this problem, price is a factor. And great, our lead magnet really lines up with that. But we may find that it's really not, and we use a magnet. So these people are unfit, not healthy, bad eating habits. We may find that getting a nutritional plan is the absolute best lead magnet we could use, and it's not price driven. So what we want to do is have a lead magnet that is relative to what people are actually the problem in their life, as opposed to here's our flash in the pan, super cheap offer.
We've had a client that's hit over 500 leads for the month.
That's a fucking magic moment. Well done, Dan friend. Good job. Oh, just broke my horn.
Yeah, over 500 clients for leads.
We train them well here. Train them well.
No, we've hit over 500 leads for a client this month, which is the biggest month yet, which is awesome. And definitely a magic moment.
That's epic, bro.
Boom.
Nice.
And we have a recommendation that any business that we work with, they need to be investing a minimum $1,500, $2,000 in advertising a month as well. The reason behind that is you need to be putting your message out there, and you need to be doing it consistently and persistently. And putting 20 bucks here, 100 bucks there just ain't gonna cut it. It's not gonna get you the cut through that you need in the industry, because there will be someone who will come in, they'll just outspend you. And unfortunately, people with deeper pockets, they can just come in and outspend and get the awareness, like which you're starting to notice already. Yeah, you've either got to have deep pockets or you've got to have an amazing strategy. It all ties back into strategy. People can outspend you if they've got a $50,000, $100,000 budget. You just can't compete with that. Put it in context. It's the people who win the elections, and I'm talking probably for my local area, and I've seen this the last 8 years, 10 years. The people who get my vote generally, and this, probably shouldn't really say this, but I'm gonna. The people who get my vote are the people who promote themselves the most. Seriously, when I walk into the school to go and vote, if there's one person named Bob and he's got one sign over in the corner, fuck, I ain't gonna be voting for Bob. That's showing me Bob don't really want this. I'll vote for the person who has 50 people all dressed in a blue t-shirt, who's all holding up signs, who's got, hey, would you like to talk this and that? They're putting in the effort, right? They're in front of me. So the people who win are the people who get their messages in front of the people the most. Your products are only gonna win if they're put in front of the right people. Do you believe your product and service, if it was put in front of the right people, it would create an amazing experience for them, or it would give them what they're looking for? And of course everyone goes, yeah, of course. We need to put it in front of the most people. And unfortunately, not everyone has big budgets to spend. When I started Facebook advertising, I was putting every dollar I made back into the business. I was spending thousands a day, generating hundreds of thousands of leads. It was a wicked roller coaster, I'll tell you. But I was putting it all back because I didn't have the $1 million up front to go, bang, let's start with a 20 grand budget. Day one, let's just thrash this out to this space. Now, if I did, I could have escalated further. But the reality is, unless you're gonna go get venture capitalists, you're gonna go get big loans potentially, you just have to work with the cash flow you've got. So that's why it's even more important for the punter who only has couple of thousand bucks to put into ads each month. You need to be wise with that. You could be blowing $1,800 of that budget because you're not doing it right. You're not doing it properly. It's going to the wrong places. Something to think about.